Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you another restoration project I've just finished. This is an ARP 2800 Odyssey, and this is actually the same thing as a whiteface Odyssey. It's just a later model where they started using the black and gold scheme. And anyways, this is one I redid for a friend, and he literally bought it as a parts unit. It was sent to me in pieces, and so anyways, I decided, well, hey, you know, this thing's still got a little life in it. So I just went through and restored it for him, and basically it didn't really have anything major. It was just a lot of little problems it had. One of the biggest problems was with his keyboard's CV memory, which CV memory is basically nothing but a transistor and a capacitor. And so when you hit a note, that transistor triggers, and it actually charges that cap up to whatever voltage that you was holding the key in. And when you let off a note, it's supposed to that transistor is supposed to open up and keep that cap charged. Well, what he had problems with is actually the transistor, which I got right here in my hand. This guy was bad. So basically he was always shorted. He was always on. And what that causes, whenever you let off a note, you would just start bleeding down because you had the capacitance of the keyboard and everything bleeding off that cap. And so you just have a drift. But also on top of that, his portamento didn't work. If I hit a note and let off and hit his portamento up any, it would just die. The pitch would drift all the way down really fast. And that was one of the symptoms of this transistor being bad, which is a transistor, let me get the numbers here. It's a 2N4392, which is rare. I actually had a hard time finding this piece. In fact, I didn't. I ended up using a cross-reference part. And it was a 2N3971 is what I used in its place. And then on top of that, also he had a shorted cap, which this was a filter cap for his keyboard circuit as well. And so it's supposed to be a 0.047 microfarad at 200 volts, and it was reading 78 nanofarads. So it was definitely out of tolerance. And so I replaced that and replaced that transistor, and his keyboard came to life. It was working great. And then I had a few other little bugs to work out. He had some bad sliders, and as you know, these sliders are not available. They're very hard to get, and usually if you get them used, they're already worn out. So what I ended up doing is just going and I bought some sliders from Mauser.com, which is an electronics store I use quite a bit. And these are a little longer than the factory slider, which I got the original slider right here. As you can see, this is what they look like. And basically just wear out. And when they wear out, they're gone. But anyways, I placed it with these, which are a little longer underneath here. But what I did is when I recalibrated it to match this new slider. And of course these had LEDs on them. And so what I decided to do is, instead of just having LEDs, why don't we hook those into the oscillator circuit? So now when you go into LFO mode, you can actually change the rate and you can see it, rather than just having to guess, you know. But I did that. But they also got center detents, which is basically where you have a point in the middle where it's got like a notch, so you know exactly when you're in the middle. And this is something that ARP didn't do originally, so it made it really hard to use. And in my opinion, it made ARP suck because you had no reference. And so if you knocked this thing out of tune, you know, you didn't know how to retune it unless you had a tuner or another keyboard to go by. So anyways, as you can hear, I'm going to show you an example of how nice it is having those center detents. I can hit a note, back in the middle. Actually, let me adjust this a little bit. I can knock these things way out. I know exactly where to go back and tune. So really nice. The glide works. It works really good now since I did all the work. The only thing I didn't replace is this slider right here, or this, excuse me, it's a switch for the sync. But it still works. You just got to push your finger in like that. But it still works. As you can hear. But that still works, so I didn't really bother too much with that. I was going to, and I just had a hard time finding a switch that really matched well. And so the customer just told me just to leave it original, so I fixed that and just left that alone. But you know, the filter and everything works. I didn't have to do anything there. And I replaced all the key bushings, took his keyboard assembly apart, cleaned, and just really had to clean this thing. It was just a complete mess. And then I did all that, and anyways, I just thought I'd make a quick video before I boxed it up here. But I'll try to post some links to where you can get some of these parts if you have this problem. Because this is, I'm not sure how common this issue is, but I have heard of this happening before on ARPs, and it's all because this little transistor right here, this little guy right here, shorts out, and then that's all your problems. And you know, then this cap here on top of it. But anyways, just thought I'd make a quick video here, and take care.